We are on the precipice of episode 2 of season 2, going below 2 million viewers. I think it's an outright certainty that we do below 2 million overnights. Okay, just how low does it sink? Because of the 6 people that reviewed it, or at least the people that were talking about the premiere episode, nobody liked that stuff. It was just cringe. It was memed for Planet of the Incel and all that crap. But for the people that still adhere to some of the canonicity of previous Doctors, like there were a couple of lines crossed in this one, and then also the way that, the new companion is being characterized as the most insufferable in series history. There's no momentum behind this, and we have heard time and time again that the season 3, I don't know, man, you might get it. It's probably going to be going on hiatus. This thing has been canceled in all but confirmation, and it's just simply a countdown to disaster. But hey, that doesn't mean that there can't be some glorious cope to talk about before we wait for episode 2, and it's gonna be great because it's like animated and stuff. I'm thinking 1.8. I'm recording this Thursday evening going into Friday, and obviously you guys are going to be seeing this Friday evening depending on where you're at. So yeah, this is before we know anything. Okay, but that's my thought. I think it's gonna get real bad before this is up in a couple weeks. But Doctor Who season 2 Rotten Tomatoes audience score suggests review bombing has returned. Yeah, don't mind the lack of enthusiasm around this. Don't mind the fact that nobody has watched this. No, there's some trolls that are out there, and I brought up the Rotten Tomatoes score last time we talked about this, and yeah, 44% from the audience, the actual audience that's out there, but there wasn't really a hell of a lot of reviews. And you take a look at the other sites that are out there, and yeah, they're treading similar water. Like this, it's not getting review bombed, it's being reviewed appropriately. And I guess maybe you're referring to the critic class, okay, because they're giving it way too high of a score, like 70 or something like that, 70 or 80. Much like a trip of the TARDIS to a dangerous planet in a distant future, it can be difficult to remember quite how we got to this place. Oh my god, but the reality remains nevertheless concerning. Review bombing has been a topic of discussion in recent months. For what? Especially when it comes to those projects that have found themselves as the target of the anti-woke brigade. Yeah, we'll talk about them a little bit more, because there's somebody else that instead of addressing the future of their project, they're a little bit more concerned about toxic backlash, despite positive reception and an early perfect 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, from the critics, okay. Season 2 has awoken the ire of the mob of gang-handed internet dwellers who simply cannot handle the idea of a progressive show about a gender-fluid alien flying around time and space while saving people has inclusivity on its mind. Yeah, that sounds like a shitty show, okay, that nobody would watch to begin with, and nobody would even bother review bombing. But you're wearing the skin suit of a once beloved franchise, okay, something that has name recognition, something that has 60 years of legacy behind it. That's why people are a little bit upset, but that's all right. This has left the audience rating of the aforementioned Rotten Tomatoes at a shockingly low 46%. Yeah, I understand. Should be lower than that, although it is at least a 16% improvement on last year's comparative figure. Well, yeah, the entire first season was absolute dog water, and yeah, we've only seen one episode, but it's gonna get worse from here, because if you think the scores are bad right now, RTD has a plan for a sequel of one of the most beloved episodes of all time, Midnight. It's going to be coming out this truncated season, okay, with this cast of characters, with these scribes behind it. Bro, it's gonna break some people, and we're gonna see some ire, not too dissimilar to a couple of things from the Jodie Whittaker era, Timeless Children and Flux. I'm looking directly at you, but Russell T. Davies has no time for critics of Doctor Who's wokeness. Yes, stop paying attention to what's on the screen and just accept diversity, because it is our strength. Russell T. Davies is too busy navigating the rules of space and time to humor critics of his show. Full stop. Oh, I'm sorry. Show's diversity and inclusion. Yeah, because that's what people are criticizing. Not just the fact that Ncuti Gatwa's playing Ncuti Gatwa and not the Doctor, and the companion Virada Setu, or Belinda Chandra, is an insufferable bitchy girl boss. Yeah, no. It's the diversity and inclusion. Doctor Who showrunner, who previously revived the series in 2005, came back to kill it, okay? Recently addressed criticism of the BBC and Disney Plus reboots, diversity and wokeness, after stars Ncuti Gatwa and Virada Setu defended the show. Yeah, so much so where they didn't really advocate for like a third season. It was like, I don't know, did you guys hear anything about a third season? Because we haven't, and I'm looking at places to live in Los Angeles, because the the industry hates black guys so much that they want to hire them and give them, a multitude of opportunities. Okay. Someone always brings up the matter of diversity, and there are online warriors accusing us of diversity and wokeness and of involving messages and issues. I beg your pardon, said Davies on BBC Radio 2. I have no time for this. I don't have a second to bear it, because what you might call diversity, I just call an open door. I want you to keep that in mind, okay? Accusing us of diversity and wokeness and involving messages and issues. Okay, keep that in mind, because it's patently obvious for everybody to see. Just go back to when we were talking about the first season a couple of years, or I'm sorry, last year. God, I guess technically speaking, the 60th anniversary would have been a couple years ago. It did come out in 2023 after all, boy. Oh, simpler times when people actually had enthusiasm. Wow, David Tennant's coming back and RTD's coming back. Wow, they can go ahead and they can right all the wrongs of Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker, and everything's going to be, oh no, what did you do? Why does Rose, I'm sorry, why is Donna's kid Rose got giant hands? What do we, no. Anyways, although he admitted he doesn't know if it's conscious to put so much diversity in Doctor Who, Davies explained. That's life, and I think it's the only way to write it. Yes, exactly, through your own personal lens, where you have to just go ahead and hammer things in like it's your boyfriend's heading to the headboard over and over again. It was said he was casting as the Doctor Who's, a new companion, Melindra Chandra. Their pairing represents the first time, yes, it's a historic, the first ever non-white TARDIS that's going to cancel Doctor Who. Congratulations. It's not a first, but it is historic. Yes, will pilot this show's TARDIS in its 60-plus year history, which Setu recalled her co-star saying was going to piss off so many people. Yeah, see, exactly. That antagonistic approach, that's what you always want to aim for. And you know what? But hey, shout out to something for a show that's a little bit less horrific, okay, but still does equal amounts of damage to the, iterations before it. Daredevil Born Again. It just wrapped up earlier this week, and it was an abomination by all accounts. I'm looking forward to EFAP's big breakdown on it tomorrow for episodes 7, 8, and 9. All the clips that I've seen and all the breakdowns that I've read and listened to is like, wow, that's an abomination. But hey, at least Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, recently put out, big statements saying, thanks guys for watching this. Okay, we have a lot of love for the project. We want to do right by you. We hope you enjoyed what you watched. We're working hard on season 2. They put out all of the right messaging, even though it was a complete and total pile of shit, okay? But they were very good in it. And Vincent D'Onofrio hiding his, rage behind all of his cuck pin scenes. It's like, yeah, that's a lot of work. He is a great actor that he could go ahead and get through that level of embarrassment and still rip a guy's head off at the end of it, okay? They're very good in their roles, even though both of their characters got thoroughly assassinated. But the way that you approach the audience, even if you're not happy with the results, that's the way that you do it. So yeah, people are still generally going to be deferential towards D'Onofrio and Cox moving forward. But unfortunately for Gatwa, he's not going to get that same deference to Cox that he's normally looking for when you immediately come out and say this is going to piss off so many people. But going back to RTD's statement, okay, the accusations of pushing diversity, wokeness, and the involving messages and issues. I mean, bro, you said it yourself. He is putting the modern world and those messages into the new Doctor Who episodes. So who you fooling? RTD admits his lazy problems with writing current Doctor Who in a new interview. As he stated, I absolutely believe in putting in modern world into every drama I write. Over the weekend, season 2, yes, of Doctor Who's Disney Plus error, premiered with the Robot Revolution, lazy modern concepts such as AI generator, yes, and Planet of the Incels, to read some of the activists, yes, on Reddit wrote this episode rather than a professional science fiction writer. Well, that's RTD in a nutshell. And while the first season of Ncuti run posted ratings that flirted with this number, yeah, they dipped below 2 million. And I all but guarantee we're going to be hitting that and talking about that later this week as well, because there's no momentum behind this. This thing is just a dead series. I'd say walking, but it's mostly limping or crawling, whatever works for you. RTD admitted he's doing such intentionally in a recent interview, talking about infusing it with the message, with Parade, saying, I absolutely believe in putting the modern world into every drama I write. If I was writing a Dickens adaptation, I have put Shakespeare on screen. I've done a version of Midsummer Night's Dream for BBC One, and it was absolutely a redolent of the present day. It was strangely about the rise of fascism, which I can't think how that plays in a modern venue at all. I just can't put two and two together. Bro, imagine thinking that you can write Shakespeare better than Shakespeare. Fucking, the ego on this bitch. And so it's something I don't even need to think about. It's how I live, it's how I breathe, it's the only way I can exist. It's what I think writing is for. So now in 2025, when you have a robot story, Doctor Who's been having robot stories since 1963, but now with your robot story, it would be fallacious and mendacious if you didn't use the letters AI in there, because that's what we're talking about. What's going to take all our gerbs away? That's going to change the shape of our society. That might lead to enormous riches in the future. Who knows the way AI is going to go? So you have to do that. I don't even have to think about that. I sit here typing, and that just flows out of my fingers and goes onto the keyboard and onto the screen. It's a completely natural way to work, and I'm suspicious of writers who don't write like that. I don't know how they do it. Well, yeah, I don't know how you could have stolen so much money from the British taxpayers, from the BBC, from Disney, and produce such utter tripe, and still have this level of hubris behind you. Fucking ridiculous. Congratulations on killing the show that you brought back from the depths in 2005. Very fitting. You want to talk about a 60-year legacy? Well, you just killed a 20-year legacy in a tenth of its runtime. Congratulations, Chief. Go ahead and write its obituary. Perhaps you can find gay overtones to stuff into that, too. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.